All right, let's call to order the Sparks City Council meeting for Monday, June 10th with a roll call.
Mayor Lawson.
Here.
Council members Abbott.
Here.
Vanderwell.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Bybee.
Here.
Dare.
Here.
Acting City Attorney Dana.
Here.
City Manager Lufan.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll turn our attention to our invocation speaker, Chaplain Shay Gilliam of the United States Air Force 152nd Airlift Wing. Thank you.
My name is Chaplain Shay Gilliam. I have the privilege of opening us up with an invocation. So if you could, please join me in a word of prayer. Lord God, thank you for this very special day. It's a privilege to stand before the men and women here in this room. There's a lot of important matters to be discussed. And we thank you for our city council, everything they do for the city of Spark. We thank you for everyone here. Pray, God, that they feel heard and that they can come to this room and have their matters either resolved or just brought to the attention of the city council. I pray that the council would make wise decisions that are in the best interest of everyone within our city. God, we pray for our city. It is a beautiful place. It's unique among many other places that I've been. And I pray that you continue to put your blessings upon its people and upon the environment in which we live. God, I pray for our military. I pray that the men and women that protect our city, that protect our state, that they're safe today, that as we are called to defend our nation, to fight our nation's wars, that as much as we can, we're not put into harm's way, that we can come back home to our city, to our loved ones, and continue to bless your name in the place where we live. And so, God, I pray over our time today. I pray that it's fruitful. I pray that matters are resolved. And I pray above all that the goodness that you deem for us, that it can manifest itself in all the ways that you deem. Lord, I thank you for the occasion. Thank you for everyone here. It's in your name that I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Dion, will you lead us in the pledge, please? Your first day, first city council meeting.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Let's move on to public comment. First up, I have William T. Stewart. Followed by Tom Olivero.
Good afternoon. William T. Stewart for the record. Thank you all for your service. I want to read a couple of things, the preamble to the Nevada Constitution. We, the people of the state of Nevada, gratefully to Almighty God for our freedom in order to secure its blessings, ensure domestic tranquility, and for a more perfect government, do establish this Constitution. And then I also want to read our Declaration of Independence, second paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, derive their just powers from the consent of the government. So, we are one nation under God. Thank you for that invocation. That was very nice. There's a couple of things. Obviously, I want to welcome, how do you pronounce your last name?
Louthan.
Louthan, okay. I wrote it down and I was like, I don't know how to pronounce that. Okay, welcome to the City of Sparks, City of Promise. Welcome. As a current member of the Sparks Citizen Advisory Committee, I would like to just have a couple of things come to your attention. Voting, you guys, voting's tomorrow. If you haven't already done early voting, that's a huge one. One of the things that's on our list of to do is the U.S. Postal Service is planning on moving our mail to Sacramento. And I know hopefully you guys can put some pressure on our federal elected officials to make that not happen, because as we all know, things get lost in the mail and ballots are very important and mail is very important. And then, let's see. And then I also want to talk about the 6.5 million deficit the city is underneath right now. I know with the new ambulance coming on board, that's going to help with revenue. And as soon as that can come on board, the better. That will be taking place in July. So hopefully that will be able to become not only beneficial to the city financially, but also to patient care. because as a public servant for over 25 years, patient care is paramount. From the scene to the hospital is the most important time. Changing patient care from provider to different providers and having that go down and asking the customer or the clients or the patients the same questions over and over again, they get frustrated. So that's something that will be very beneficial to the city of Sparks. And then on my last point, I was going to see if I could get the overhead on. Could I have my time stop?
Could you push it over, please?
I'll make note of it. Go ahead.
So my time's not going to stop?
She's working on it.
Okay.
Do you need help, Lisa?
I've talked about this before. Firewise communities are a very important part. Yes, there you go. So Firewise communities are a very important part of any community throughout the United States. It helps not only with neighbors helping neighbors, but also insurance. And people are being dropped or their premiums are going up exponentially. So we need to make sure that we can have as many Firewise communities in this neighborhood as well as throughout the country. I've talked to Chief White and Fire Marshal Chu about this, grants for HOAs, talking about the vistas, all the people that have had fires in their communities over the past few years. This is something I think we can all get behind to make sure we don't burn down any other houses in our community. Thank you very much for your time. God bless.
Thank you. All right, Tom Olivero, followed by Darren Jackson.
Thank you. My name's Tom Olivera. I've lived in Sparks since 1976. Been a great place to live, raise my family. Thanks to all of you for giving me the time to talk and also for the job you do. I know it's not easy, but hopefully this will be an easy one for you. I'm here as someone who would love to see an increase in the number of pickleball courts in the Sparks area. And I know you've had a speaker on that. I want to thank Nancy. I know she's in the back somewhere, and Brandon. They've worked with us. We've met with them, and they're more than receptive to help us out and things like that. I mean, obviously, there's not enough courts. Pickleball is a huge sport, the fastest growing sport in America. Everyone's playing the sport. You think, well, it's just a bunch of old people out there. It's not. It's multi-generational. Kids are playing. The number one rated female player in the world is 17. She was 15 when she was the number one rated player in the world. So everyone's playing the game. It's on TV. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, teams, money. It's a growing sport. Some things that I think we can do, and I just got an email before I came down here that we're looking at striping some courts out there at Golden Eagle, which there's a ton of room out there where the basketball facility is, so we're going to stripe some courts there. That's a huge start. So striping courts is something that can be done. It's fairly easy. Converting tennis courts, like I mentioned to someone as we were walking in, no one in the city of Sparks can say that they can't find a tennis court somewhere. Tennis courts are open. So especially these facilities where there's 2 tennis courts, you can switch it out. You can get 4 pickleball courts on 1 tennis court. So, I mean, that would be a compromise. Still have a tennis court for the tennis people. You got it for the pickleball people too. So that would be a possibility. Golden Eagle's a gold mine out there as far as doing things. I don't know what you're looking at doing long-term, phasing, or if there's other things coming out there. But investing in pickleball would be great. You could make a great complex. You could charge money. You could host tournaments. You could have people have a membership, that type of thing. And right out there now, if they do the 5 courts, the next thing would be maybe doing some fencing, doing some permanent or some temporary barriers, things like that, like they did at Burgess Park. By the way, Opio Park's great. If you've never been there, it's a beautiful facility that they built last year. So hopefully you can see there's something in it in the future. It's not going away, and we'd certainly appreciate anything you could do to grow the sport. Anyone want to play, want to learn how to play, let us know. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Darren Jackson, followed by Chris Garvey.
Good afternoon. Darren Jackson, Vice President, Local 12, actually 731 now. Ooh, that was a muscle memory
A
there.
big mistake.
I know. Local 731. First, I wanted to say thank you. Sorry we're meeting this way. We haven't had a chance to meet, but welcome. We're all excited that you're here. So I'm here to talk today about our health plan. So this is becoming a really, really big problem. We have not just 731 members being harmed daily, but every employee is at risk now when they go to the doctor. They're going to be harmed either by denial or by the bill that's wrong. Because what's happened, in good faith, we made the plan changes that you guys are going to vote on today. Those happened back between October and December. They should have taken effect in the old plan document on January 1. They didn't. The city saw fit to, behind closed doors and without telling anybody, they implemented a brand-new plan document that was not approved by the group healthcare committee as required by an arbitration that the city won forming the committee. That's where all changes have to be made to our health plan. They can't be made anywhere else. You can't change a period, a comma, no changes whatsoever. And we've done that since the early 80s. That's been in effect. And we've worked really hard, as proof by the savings that you guys are going to vote on today. Those savings should have been taken effect 6 months ago. So we've lost out on that savings for some reason. I'm not sure why. We had to FOIA. We had so many problems. We had to FOIA what the plan document was because the website was still showing the old document, but UMR was quoting something that we didn't know what it was. So we had to do a FOIA request to get a hold of what document was being used. This is when we found out it was this new document that was completely different than the old document, okay, which was totally unacceptable. So we started going through the steps to get this remedied, right? We tried to have a meeting. The meeting in May was canceled conveniently. So we requested a special meeting. The chair said, absolutely not. There's no way I'm giving you a special meeting to discuss this. But he did create a workshop, which was just a few days ago, in which all the employees were told, come, we're going to talk about the problems. But at the last minute, it was switched to a meeting. They conformed open meeting laws and nobody was allowed to speak. So there was a lot of frustration there that no business is being handled. I know my time's running out. The only resolution here is that we need to implement the plan document from January 2022. That's what's on the front page. This new document is not in control. And if it doesn't happen soon, I hate to say it, 731 is going to have to go to district court to file an injunction because people are being harmed financially. People are out either being denied their doctor's appointments outright, or they're being billed thousands of extra dollars that they shouldn't be spending because of the plan change. Thank you for your time.
Chris Garvey.
Chris Garvey. I'm also a candidate for Sparks City Council Ward 1. I want to welcome our new city manager, and I know a lot of people are very excited about you being here, and they're hopeful that you can start correcting a lot of the issues that are plaguing our city right now. I know I am, and I hope one of the first big steps would be increasing the transparency between our city government and our citizens. I want to speak on a couple of topics today. The first, sadly, is yet again, we've had another shooting in Sparks, this time at the marina, less than 24 hours after our children's fishing event in the same location. We don't know much other than it happened at 4:19 in the morning. Multiple people were injured. And again, Sparks police didn't have enough staff to contain the crime scene, so had to ask for help. This is becoming almost a weekly event in Sparks. Whether it's the police being wounded, an elderly being held hostage, or a man found shot dead in his car in a neighborhood that's typically quiet. Usually, it's all in Ward 1, but now the crime and the violent crime is spreading. 2 years ago, I asked some questions and finally got some answers from the city about 175 days later. One of them was, what does the gang activity in Sparks look like? The response? Sparks Police Department have investigated crimes involving documented gang members. Question 2, how does the Sparks Police address gang activity? The police department dedicates 2 police officers to regional gang unit. And question 3, has the gang activity increased or become more violent? If yes, why? The response, there is no evidence to suggest that there has been any substantial increase in gang activity in this region. Maybe we should revisit these and update the community. I know many of us would appreciate it. The second item is the topic on the agenda, 9.5, that's to approve 2 full-time security officers for City Hall. People are already commenting on how locked up like a fortress City Hall is, that it's impossible to get access to a department, or, even the counter is almost inaccessible without an appointment. What exactly is going on that we need that level of security in City Hall? Are you not telling us something? You seem like you're okay spending $135,000 for your security, but none of the council is compelled to put that money towards 1 more police officer on the streets to protect your constituents. You've all voted for the budget that continues to hold 5 vacant positions in the police. This is ridiculous. You could be looking at those consultants that want to convince everybody how good the Truckee Meadows land bill is. That would put another couple of police officers on the street too. So tomorrow's a day of change. Vote.
Okay, anyone else in the public wishing to speak at this time? Okay, yes, sir.
My name is Graham Bishop. I'm a disabled veteran, and I moved to Sparks here recently and got into a HUD building on Prater Way. We have issues at the apartment with several people, and we've got people who are managing us, and they are Gestapo-style tyrants, and we have a lot of issues, and I've been putting together a lot of stuff, and I've been given the runaround, and I need to get some kind of legal help to help me find an attorney that will do pro bono for me and other people, because what's going on in our apartment complex has got to stop. And this is Truckee Heights, and it's a brand-new complex. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else in the public wishing to speak at this time? All right, we'll bring it back to the dais and agenda. Looking for an approval of the agenda. Ms. Vanderwell.
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Mr. Anderson.
Second that?
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, approval of the minutes. Any additions, corrections? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Blair,
I move to approve the minutes of the Sparks City Council meeting for May 28th, 2024.
Mr. Abbott.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, now the fun stuff. 7.1, I'm going to take the oath of office for Dion Lofen. Dion, where do we want to do this?
Want us to move?
How about right here? We'll just do it right in here.
Want us to move?
No, you're fine.
Stay here in the background. Smile. Smile the camera for 2 minutes. Smile. What's that? Right? Wherever you want. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to ask you. No better place to be, just. All right, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dion Hoffman,
Do solemnly swear that I will support,
do solemnly swear that I will support,
protect, and defend the Constitution,
protect, and defend the Constitution
of the government of the United States
of the government of the United States
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
whether domestic or foreign,
whether domestic or foreign,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
and loyalty to the same,
and loyalty to the same,
any ordinance,
ordinance,
resolution, or law
resolution, or law
of any state notwithstanding,
of any state notwithstanding,
and that I will well and faithfully perform all the duties
I will well and faithfully perform all the duties
of city manager for the city of Sparks,
of city manager for the city of Sparks,
county of Washoe,
county of Washoe,
state of Nevada,
state of Nevada,
on which I'm about to enter, so help me God.
on which I'm about to enter, so help me God.
Thank you, sir. Welcome. Yeah, should I just like poke my head over it? Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mayor Lawson, council members. I truly appreciate the opportunity, the community as well. Looking forward to engaging with each of you, the community, our businesses to, at the end of the day, create a great place for our families to live, work, play, and be proud of. And I think all the folks who went before us have done a fantastic job, and it's our job to leave it better than we found it. And that's how we should approach each and every day. And I promise we'll be good listeners. We'll do the best we can with the resources that are available, and at the same time, try to have a smile on our face and enjoy it. So I appreciate the opportunity. I thank you, and look forward to getting started and moving forward.
Okay, thank you. Now, and I hope the track team doesn't mind, but we're going to take a 10-minute recess and have a piece of cake. You guys, please go eat some cake. I know teenagers love cake. Not all of them. I love cake. So 10-minute recess. And we're going to do, as soon as Councilman Abbott gets here, a commendation for the Sparks High School Boys Varsity Track and Field Team.
Awesome. Woohoo! Sparks High. Perfect. Do the coaches want to come down? You guys want, and even the players too, you can be on the front row. Cindy, you're a coach too.
See how quickly our time up.
We're timing them.
While they come down, I'll start reading.
Just have a seat on the front row.
Yeah. And
We're going to have you guys come up after we're done, and we'll take a picture.
perfect. Cindy, you guys want them to stand up and look at everybody, or look
No,
at
you guys have the boys sit down first, and then coaches, you come up here and take these chairs.
the hot seats.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
Question and answers.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is,
yeah.
we want to get your face on the millions of YouTube viewers we have that watch our city council meetings.
Whereas the Sparks High School boys varsity track and field team, led by first-year head coach Ryan Ress and coach Cindy Taylor, are your 2024 3A state championships runner-ups. And whereas this year's Railroaders team was unique in that only 5 athletes qualified for the state championships, making their second-place finish all the more impressive. And whereas their second-place finish comes a year after finishing third at the state championship in 2023, and whereas this year's sprint events were a clean sweep, with the Railroaders taking first and second in the 100 meter, 200 meter, and 400 meter, and first in the 4x400 meter relay. And whereas Chris Cormier took first place in the 100 meter, 200 meter, and 400 meter, setting a new 3A state record in the 400 meter of 48.32 seconds. And whereas Micaiah Brown took second place in the 100 meter, 200 meter, and 400 meter, and whereas Chris Cormier, Micaiah Brown, Axel Alvarez, and Danny Taylor took first place in the 4x400 meter relay, and Caden Hewlett took 6th place in the discus and 7th place in shot put in the field events. And whereas Chris Cormier and Micaiah Brown qualified for Nike Outdoor Nationals in Eugene, Oregon in the 400 meter, and whereas the 4x400 meter relay team of Chris Cormier, Micaiah Brown, Axel Alvarez, and Danny Taylor also qualified for the Nike Outdoor Nationals and will be representing our community in the competition on June 14th and 15th, 2024. Now, therefore, on behalf of Ed Lawson, the Mayor of the City of Sparks, do hereby join with the City Council in commending the Sparks High School boys varsity track and field team for finishing second at this year's Nevada 3A Track and Field Championships and their incredible accomplishments in these various events.
Wow. Coach, you want to say a few words?
It's been a journey because I started coaching in 2018. And of course, 2020 was a, life changer for all these kids that were in 8th grade at the time. So they came up in 2021 as freshmen and they didn't have state, which was kind of a bummer. Just a note, Chris is a 4-time regional 400 meter champion. So he's undefeated at regionals for 4 years. And it's just been an honor because these two, Micaiah and Chris, I've worked with them since freshmen, so finishing out this 4th year with them was key, and being their head coach this year, which was a huge change for me because I'm a distance coach, and it all worked out learning how to coach sprints. So it's definitely been just a great group of kids. You hear Sparks, you hear Hug, but you know what? There are shining stars out there, and this just proves, there are those that work hard and can definitely make a difference. And I'm excited to see what all of them do. Of course, these two are sophomores, so they'll be back next year to see what they can do. These two off to college, and then Axel will probably be staying local, running also. I'm going to see if I can't get him on the UNR team by next year.
We have the colleges where you're going to go? Do we know?
Chattanooga State.
He has Chattanooga State, Nebraska.
Okay,
Now I'm gonna go to Adams State University for football.
good. Congratulations. Awesome. All right, well, let's, number one, congratulations, you guys. So let's get a picture. You have you guys line up here, and the council will stand up behind you. Come up here on this platform.
Probably just split each person.
Yeah,
Unless
just
you
come
want us
up.
to kneel, you want us to kneel?
No, just back up towards the back here.
She'll move everything around.
Yep.
fabulous piece of lots of 4 by 400 words.
We'll put our heads in.
Okay.
You guys-
Diane, I'm gonna have to move you next to your last.
Honest, I did put my big.
I was telling her she should stand on the table.
So sorry.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay,
Just that
right
way a
here.
little bit more.
There you go. In between.
I'll take several. Hold on just one second. Okay, last one. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. I'll email Abbott, let you know how Nike goes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good luck in Oregon, you guys.
Taylor. And once around runner, always around runner.
All right, consent items. Anyone wishing to pull a consent item? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell,
Move to approve consent items 8.1 through 8.4 is submitted.
Mr. Anderson.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, moving on to general business. I'm gonna have Dion read these. Madam Clerk, who needs to read those appointments? Do I need to read them?
The agenda item titles, Mr. Mayor?
Okay.
Do you want, you can read them and
I'll read
the
them.
city manager can
Discuss.
discuss if you would like.
Okay. 9.1, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a housing specialist recommended appointment to the Technical Review Committee, the Washoe County Home Consortium, for a 3-year term ending in June 30th of 2027. And from the following applicants listed in alphabetical order. T. Tran. That's in alphabetical order.
Unless AJ wants to.
Do you have anything, and obviously the recommendation is T. Tran. You have anything, Mr. Manager?
Amy Jones, our housing specialist, is responsible for appointing the non-staff person to the Technical Review Committee, Washoe County Housing Consortium. Mrs. Jones is recommending the reappointment of T. Tran to this committee. Mrs. Jones is available should you have any questions for her.
Okay. Any questions? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to approve the housing specialist recommendation to appoint T-Tran to the Technical Review Committee, Washoe County Home Consortium, for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2027.
Ms. Vanderwell.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. 9.2, you got lucky. Thank you for what you're doing. You're obviously doing a good job. 9.2, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the mayor's appointment to the Sparks Parks and Recreation Commission from the following pool of applicants listed in alphabetical order: Shonda Golden, Sheena Harvey, Moby Michael, Melissa Nordine, and Marcy Oncali, depending if it's Italian. My recommendation is Sheena Harvey and Moby Michael. Anything to add to that, Mr. Manager?
No comments, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right, any comments from the council? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Anderson.
I move to appoint Sheena Harvey and Moby Michael to the Sparks Parks and Recreation Commission, each with a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Donald Abbott.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Voted. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. 9.3, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the mayor's appointment to the Sparks Civil Service Commission from the following pool of applicants listed in alphabetical order: Barbara Ackerman, Rick Armstrong, Louis Doria, Douglas Marsh, Colleen Rosenkrantz. My recommendation was for Louis Doria and Douglas Marsh. Any further discussion? Questions? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell.
Move to appoint Douglas Marsh and Louis Doria to the Sparks Civil Service Commission for a partial term ending June 30th, 2027.
And Mr. Dare.
And I give it a second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. 9.4, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a security professional service agreement, AC 6053, between the City of Sparks and Universal Protection Service for security services at Sparks City Hall for a period of 3 years with an estimated annual cost of $135,508. Chief.
Good afternoon, Mayor Lawson, members of City Council. For the record, I'm Chris Crawforth, your police chief. Next to me is Rick McClellan with Allied Security. Before you today is a 3-year contract with Universal Security, also known as Allied Security, to provide 2 unarmed security personnel at City Hall during our business hours. Our city is growing, and with that comes new issues. We have observed an increase in unsafe and concerning behavior from people walking into City Hall, and we need to address the safety of our employees and our citizens while they're conducting business at City Hall. If approved, this, in conjunction with some structural changes that I believe you're aware about, will achieve the security and safety for everyone at City Hall. If approved today, security staff would start on July 8th of 2024. The annual cost is $135,508, and the funding is within the fiscal year 25 budget that was recently approved. Staff recommends approval, and Rick and I are here and available for any questions.
All right, questions from the council? I don't see any, so Mr. Dare.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you for hearing us and seeing that come true. And one of the things for our public, I think it's good to share that the office is still open and that we are ready for business, and that these officers or the security will be here just to make sure that all of them stay safe as well. Can you just give a little attention to that? Because we had someone speak on that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. We've just seen people coming in with not the best of intent, not acting professionally, threatening staff, and also threatening other members of our community that are here conducting business. So the 2 security officers will be in the front lobby helping to direct people, make connections, as well as when we have issues, they'll be on site so they can reach out to my folks at the police department if it requires that level. But just having that presence will help everyone feel safer about what they're doing and their duties. And this is not uncommon, unfortunately, in our community. Our partners, Washoe County and City of Reno, also use the same services, and all gave me a good response from this company.
Yep.
So just so I'm clear, it's 2 officers. 2 officers will be there at the same time for 40 hours per week during business hours?
Yes, that's correct. They'll come in at alternating times. One will come in early to get the 8 hours in, and one will come in a little bit later to go through the end of the day so they can escort people to their cars or handle things as business comes up throughout the day.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott.
I move to approve the Security Professional Service Agreement AC-6053 between the City of Sparks and Universal Protection Service for security services at Sparks City Hall for a period of 3 years with an estimated cost of $135,508.
Ms. Spivey.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
And we are going to publicize this to our employees that they can be walked out to their vehicles or anything that they need by the security, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. 9.5, consideration, discussion, and possible approval to add vision therapy benefits provided by VSP to the existing vision plan document for an estimated total of $5,000 per calendar year plan year to the group health fund.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Ariana Wichapa, Human Resources Senior Analyst for the record. The item before you discusses vision therapy. In 2023, the city found that Hometown Health, our previous third-party administrator for medical benefits, was erroneously paying vision therapy claims under the medical plan despite clear language excluding vision therapy from the plan. Vision benefits currently include examination, contact lenses, frames, lenses, and lens enhancements. The City of Sparks plan does not offer vision therapy under the current vision plan document. It is normal for vision therapy to be excluded from medical plans. VSP, the city's vendor that provides vision benefits under the city's vision plan document, does offer the option to add coverage for vision therapy benefits. Vision therapy is described by the American Optometric Association as therapy. Vision therapy is a treatment plan used to correct or improve specific dysfunctions of the vision system. It includes, but is not limited to, the treatment of strabismus, turned eye, other dysfunctions of binocularity, eye teaming, amblyopia, lazy eye, accommodation, eye focusing, ocular motor function, which is general eye movement ability, and visual perception motor abilities. Optometric vision therapy is based upon a medically necessary plan of treatment which is designed to improve specific vision dysfunctions determined by standardized diagnostic criteria. While comprehensive treatment plans can encompass lenses, prisms, occlusions, such as eye patching, and other appropriate materials, modalities, and equipment, VSP coverage is for vision therapy exams and therapy sessions only. The estimated cost to include vision therapy benefits based on the erroneously paid 2023 claims is approximately $3,500 under the medical plan for 10 months of the year in 2023, plus an administrative fee. This would be covered under the vision plan. Therefore, it is estimated that the full plan year cost for 2024 under the vision plan document could be approximately $5,000. Utilization in any given year may be different and is difficult to fully determine, as this is currently an excluded benefit under the vision plan document. Although currently excluded, the fact that members are using vision therapy demonstrates a desire for members to add this benefit. In addition, this recommendation has been taken to the Group Healthcare Committee, and the Group Healthcare Committee has recommended to bring this forward to Council. So if approved, this could cost the plan an estimated $5,000 per calendar year, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Dare.
Do you know if there's any other vision items? I know we're going to hit on a few other areas here that are lacking from the change of the past to today. Have we found other ones that we can expect coming?
Not to my knowledge. The only other item that I know has been mentioned at the Group Healthcare Committee has been increasing the glasses benefit, but this is not something we've analyzed or researched to bring forth to the committee yet.
I'm more concerned from saying what we had before to today, not necessarily trying to add something new. So you're saying this is the only thing that we know that is equal to equal?
As far as vision
Yeah.
or in general?
Just vision.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, no more questions. I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Dare.
I move to approve adding vision therapy benefits provided by VSP to the existing vision plan document for an estimated total of $5,000 per calendar year to the Group Health Fund.
Mr. Anderson.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. 9.6, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a City of Sparks Group Health Plan changes to implement the Maxor Plus Copay Solutions Plus program with potential savings of approximately $68,587 per year to the Group Health Fund.
Good afternoon again, Mayor and City Council members. Ariana Wichapa, Senior Human Resources Analyst for the record. With your approval, we would like to present items 9.6 through 9.8 together, as these are all part of the same cost-saving measures recommended by our pharmacy plan administrators, Max or Plus. However, each item would require its own motion and approval.
Go ahead.
As mentioned, all of these items are part of a cost-saving activity that the city, in hand with our vendors and our group healthcare committee, did last year in 2023 in preparation for the new calendar year 2024. With me today is our account executive, Jason Olson with Max or Plus, and I will have him take the lead on the presentation, and we can answer questions at the end.
Thanks, Ariana. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, council members. Jason Olson with Max or Plus. Thanks for having me today. A few items we would like to go over when it comes to the prescription drug benefit that the city of Sparks utilizes. One being our copay solutions program. So with prescription drugs, there's traditional medications you might get at a retail pharmacy for chronic care or maybe acute care or a mail order pharmacy. And then there's also specialty medications. So those are for more, a little more in depth or higher profile, like a better way to say it, diagnosis. Those come from a specialty pharmacy. They're managed pretty tightly and usually limited to a certain day supply. But with that, manufacturers do put out a lot of incentive to use their medications, pretty much all the advertisements you see on TV. So those manufacturers will put out coupons or savings cards that our pharmacy can manage along with the patient, with the member, and get them enrolled in the program and make sure that they're utilizing those coupons for each fill that they get. So what that does essentially is satisfies the members' out-of-pocket expenses, but there is an opportunity available to leverage those coupons a little bit more to tap in and get plan savings at the point of sale rather than just having the members' copay alleviated. So with that, we did an analysis over the last 12 months, probably the next slide. Actually, it's the next one. Let's just go to the next one. This is a little bit of sample of the drug mix that we've seen over the last 12 months. And there's about 58 claims that we've seen over the last year. And since we have a specialty pharmacy in Texas, and currently these members are using that specialty pharmacy to fill their specialty medications, you can see the current member cost share there in that applicable column there. The estimated savings where we could use those coupons to pull in more dollars is on the column on the right. And this would allow the plan to save money on those medications by having those claims adjudicated a little bit more towards the coupons that's available. So the manufacturers set out usually an annual amount that they'll allow for Cosentyx, Dupixent, and on down the line. And right now, we're leaving some of that money on the coupon instead of being able to use it to offset plan costs. And our estimate from a plan cost perspective, it would save is around almost $70,000, as you can see here across the current drug mix and the 58 fills in the last 12 months. So this one does not have any member disruption. The member's not going to pay anything more. They're going to use the coupon card. They're going to have the same copay that they've had, which many times is zero because the coupon satisfies that. This program just allows us to go in and take more dollars off of the manufacturer's assistance that's available and have the plan benefit from those coupon dollars. The next program is our Care Improvement Program. So this has been around for a couple years. We've had a few programs within the Nevada Health Partners Groupon Health Coalition take advantage of it. It's a prescriber intervention program. So we engage prescribers from the claims that we're seeing come across on certain medication and certain therapeutic classes to make sure that the members are taking the right medication at the right time. A lot of times doctors will prescribe something when they could have maybe prescribed something different that's a lower cost to try it to see if it remedies the diagnosis or the situation that the member may be under. Maybe we can go to the next slide. And we have pharmacists that are on staff that will contact the prescriber, talk to them about the medications that they're seeing come across, and work with them to see if there's a way to get the member on a lower cost alternative, or how's the therapy working, and maybe it's time to move off that medication and move on to another. So we really engage prescribers, which is unique. A lot of our folks in the industry, it's a lot of member engagement, and then the member has to go back to the prescriber, talk to the prescriber about what they may have told them. This really gets the prescriber involved at first, and the prescriber can help take the lead and talk to the member patient, because obviously they have that relationship with them. So this is a kind of a busy slide, but it as with Copay Solutions, it kind of gives an estimate of what we've seen come through in the last 12 months and the areas where we can jump in and reach out to prescribers and make an effort to get those patients onto potentially different therapy, or change therapy, or maybe dial back the therapy. These are really, really good numbers here, with almost a $4 per member per month savings that we estimate on the high side, with a minimum of just over $2. And what we've seen, there's about 117 members that are currently on a medication that we would, if this program is implemented, talk to their prescriber and basically initiate the program to get them potentially to a different therapy or medication. Oh, yeah, and one more we wanted to talk about too, an update to the benefit design, is our dispense is written. So within the benefit design today, prescribers will write a prescription, and there is a code that they put in. It's called dispense is written. Right now, if a member chooses to get a brand medication when there's a generic available, that patient does pay the cost difference. They absorb that. The plan doesn't have any exposure to that. If the prescriber mandates the brand when there's a generic available, the plan does pick up the cost for the brand, so the member would just pay their applicable copay. What we want to look at is potentially targeting those members and working with them to get on the generic. So we would engage them to move to the generic, if at all possible, consult their prescriber, of course, have about a 60 to 90 day window to see if we can make that happen. And also, that would generate savings as well, because right now the plan is picking up the cost for the brand medication when there's a generic available that is a therapeutic equivalent to what they're taking. So that's another benefit design change we wanted to offer, to see if that would be something you want to consider. And that's a program, as with the others, that we really handhold from engaging the member about 90 days out from when that change goes into effect, allowing them time to consult their prescriber. And then if the prescriber says they've tried the generic, they need to be on the brand, we can make exceptions in those cases, but we want to make sure we're having the best cost effectiveness for the plan when it comes to choosing a brand over a generic. So.
And Ariana Wichapa for the record again. All of these programs were introduced to the Group Healthcare Committee as part of cost-saving measure analysis from 2023 through the beginning of 2024. Aside from these, other items were brought to the committee that they did not want to move forward with. At this time, they approved on January 11th, 2024, to bring these items to council, which is why we're seeing them today. And with that, I would go back to the first item at hand, which is 9.6, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of City of Sparks Group Health Plan changes to implement the Maxor Plus Copay Solutions Plus program with a potential savings of approximately $68,587 per calendar year to the Group Health Fund.
Mr. Dare.
Yes, can I ask questions about everything that's presented? So we don't.
Technically, we haven't opened the other two items, so you can ask about this one.
Okay, they all kind of string together, but I'll give you on this one then. So are you saying that it seems like we're asking our people to do a lot more or take less in what you're saying? I mean, it sounds nice that we save money. Don't get me wrong, we want to save money. But so you keep saying a coupon, an education. Is this something we need to educate our group that they're going to have to order and then use a coupon card on top of that? Or is it already something strung in there? Or is it all an extra step that you're asking everybody to take? I only say that because education pieces and coupons, it doesn't sound as classy as it might sound to me, but
Okay, yeah, gotcha. No, it's already happening right now. These members are engaged with a manufacturer assistance mechanism. They're filling at Maxwell Specialty Pharmacy in Texas, and it's in place right now. The only thing that we haven't set up is being able to leverage those manufacturer dollars more than just satisfying the members' out-of-pocket expense. So with this program, we can actually use those coupons, subsidy, and pull in more dollars to offset the plan costs. So when the dollars fall, more dollars are going on to the coupon than the plan would be paying at the point of sale, if that makes sense.
I think my question has to do with, let's say John over here, he's retired and he has his stuff, and then now he has to use a coupon when he's ordering?
Our pharmacy takes care of all that.
So you guys, it's just, you call it a coupon, but
Right,
it's
when
not.
when we get that script from the prescriber, our team knows what's
Okay.
available out there. We enroll the member, and they're doing that now, but this program would allow them to pull in more dollars off of that subsidy that the manufacturer has out there. So at the end of the year, a patient could have $12,000 worth of assistance from the manufacturer, but when they're only using $250 every time they get that fill, there's a lot of money left on that coupon that could have been used. And that's where this program says basically, we can pull in more dollars off of that coupon to help the plan save money.
That answers the question to that one, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Ms. Vanderwell.
So I need some clarification. So do we need to use Maxor as our pharmacy then? Okay, so.
For specialty medications.
For specialty medications. Okay, so is there a list somewhere for those specialty medications? Okay, perfect. Well, I mean, that all of us can access. Okay.
Yes, Ariana Wichapa, the formulary is available to members.
Okay, terrific, thank you.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, and kind of like Councilmember Dare's, I think mine kind of cover all the topics here, but we'll try and keep it to this one. And again, I guess I'm a little confused. It sounds like the burden is on Maxor Plus to watch and make sure if a prescriber has a new employee that is with the city and is using one of these drugs, Maxor Plus is going to work with the prescriber and the pharmacy and the employee? Or I guess I'm missing how this is going to work.
On the program here?
The
9.6.
9.6, the very first
Yeah,
one you talked
Hobart
about.
Solutions.
Yeah.
So we have a pharmacy that's like any other pharmacy. It's a specialty pharmacy. So the members right now with City of Sparks, if they're prescribed a specialty medication, that script goes to our specialty pharmacy. Our technicians engage the member or the patient and talk about the medication, just like you would at a retail pharmacy. They're going to go over you with the directions and all those type of things, arrange for shipment, and then also engage with them. There's a manufacturer assistance program out there. We'd like to get you enrolled in it. And then that technician will enroll the member in it, and then they have the information of that assistance that's available. And then as they get that first fill and subsequent fills, they're using that coupon to process those prescriptions, help the member with their copay. But with this program, we can also leverage that manufacturer assistance out there higher to pull in more money off of the assistance that's available to help the City of Sparks not have as much cost exposure on those fills.
Okay, and most of that explained it for me.
Okay.
So does this happen then between the prescriber and the patient?
The pharmacy and the patient. Because the prescriber just writes the script, gets it to the pharmacy, and then the pharmacy runs with it from there. And then
Okay, so the prescriber automatically knows it's going to go through Maxor Plus?
Right.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mr. Abbott.
Just to make sure I understand, so the end user shouldn't see a difference right?
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Dare.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get to the answer what they just said, and you said that, but you also said that they may have to move from wherever they're at to Maxor. Does that mean they have to go to a certain pharmacist, or does all pharmacies use Maxor?
For specialty medications, just given the type of medications those are, they're currently going through Maxor Specialty right now. That's part of the benefit design.
So someone goes to Walmart, typically, they're not going to go to Walmart anymore?
They wouldn't have been going to Walmart.
Understood.
medications in this mix.
Maybe it's that I don't understand specialty medicine then. That's probably what's going on.
If they needed something for a cold or something acute, or maybe something that was outside of the specialty realm, a diabetic medication, they're filling those. Those would all go through your Walmart or your CVS, and they can get those, or through our mail order. But specialty medications have a little bit more higher touch, and they need to be handled in certain ways. So they go through Maxer Specialty today. That would not change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. We're good on 9.6? I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Vanderwell.
I move to approve the City of Sparks Group Health Plan changes to implement the Maxor Plus Copay Solutions Plus program with the potential savings of approximately $68,587 per calendar year to the group health fund.
Mr. Anderson.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. 9.7, consideration, discussion, possible approval of the City of Sparks Group Health Plan changes to implement the Maxor Plus Care Improvement Plan program with the potential savings between approximately $48,000 and $81,600 per calendar year planned to the group health fund. Questions on this one, council?
Maybe. They're running all together for me. Can you give me bullet points again on this particular one? Because I could have a question, but I've got all three of them spinning in my brain. Thanks.
So this is our prescriber intervention program. So we review claims data, look for key medications that may have an alternative available, and our pharmacists will contact the prescriber to discuss the therapy and make sure that those medications are right for that patient. So sometimes what we see is a member may have some sort of chronic inflammatory, they automatically prescribe Humira. There may be other alternatives out there before they start that therapy, or they can move to an alternative therapy that's lower cost. So it's a prescriber intervention program, which I mentioned is unique. A lot of pharmacy benefit managers will engage the member, have the member go back to the prescriber, talk to the prescriber, and then there's the kind of that flow. This goes to the prescriber, who has the best interests of the patient at heart and can make those ultimately makes those decisions on change of therapy, lower dosage, or things of that nature, that would get the member on an alternative medication or dosage that would be more cost effective for the plan, and not neglecting their treatment or what they need to be prescribed.
Okay, and I appreciate going directly. I think that's super efficient, so that the member, like you said, doesn't have to call the doctor, wait to get back, and going directly to the prescriber, I think I support that. At the end of the day, if the prescriber says, no, the generic is not what I want, most times generics are okay, but in some cases, your physician will know if it's, if they want the brand name and not the generic. At the end of the day, if the prescriber insists on the brand name medication, then the plan will cover that, right? You talked about exceptions to it, because I want to make sure that, that on one hand, I really think saving money is a good thing, but on the other hand, when we're looking at people's health, I want to make sure that the decisions that we're making are in the best interest of all of our residents and all of our employees. And so that would be the doctor's call at the end of the day, not my call, because I wanted to save money. So is that the case? The doctor doesn't want to change the more cost-effective way than it is what the prescriber would order we would cover.
They would have the final say, the prescriber.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Mr. Dare.
So I don't actually like this, I just want to say. And the reason I don't is I know we're saying right now that the doctor has the final say, but we're actually doing this for money. And we're going to say somebody's going to sit there who we're going to pay to help tell the doctor what should or shouldn't be. And then we're going to, because we do want to save money. Believe me, I get where we're at, I get what we're trying to do. But I have a really hard time because I think a lot of times the doctors prescribe things that Schurz doesn't want to pay, insurance will tell people no, and we're setting ourselves up for another situation with medicine. And so I just, unless you have something to say about that, I think that's what this is. This is a plan to filter what actually an employee gets, what the doctor says they should have. I don't mind offering it as a suggestion, but I think this is more than that. Is it more than a suggestion? It sounds more than a suggestion.
It's a suggestion, and it's going back to the prescriber and engaging them on what therapy they're prescribing now, having them basically take another look to see if there's another alternative out there that would be lower cost, and then the prescriber giving the yay or nay that they can move to a therapeutic equivalent alternative that's lower cost, that would be covered. So it's really prescriber driven in that sense. We're just making the outreach to say, hey, we see you, this patient's brand new to, I keep picking on Humira because it's all out there, brand new to Humira. Have they tried anything else yet? Because there's other therapies out there that are lower cost, and can you take a look at that? And it's been successful. It's been, we've had this program for a few years, but I get where you're coming from. But it's just one of our kind of our flagship programs that we've offered to the other groups within the Nevada Health Partners Coalition that have seen some benefit from it. So we wanted to make sure y'all were aware of what we can offer from a cost saving standpoint.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ms. Vanderwell.
Who is talking to the prescriber? Is it another prescriber? So is it a professional? So they're both in the same field and everything else as they're discussing this?
They are pharmacy technicians.
Okay, so they're not necessarily doctors that prescribe?
I don't know if they have a doctor background, but they
Okay.
have pharmacy background and all that goes with that. So they've been technicians, they've been on the front lines dispensing to members, and now they're helping us administer this program.
Okay, because I'll have to say, I echo Councilman Dare's concerns here, is we're not having like-for-like professionals having this discussion. We're having, someone internally just to save money, which we all agree we want to save money, but not to the detriment of whoever's being prescribed. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Ms. Spivey.
Just as a follow-up, so once again, at the end of the day, it's your prescriber. So my doctor has the ultimate say, yes, you can move her to this other medication, or no, I want her on this medication. And then you said you've had this plan working with other health plans. What kind of success have you had? Is it just case by case that some doctors absolutely say, stay on the other one, that change or not? I mean, what is the success rate you've seen? Besides cost savings, has it worked pretty well with other health plans and not having a problem? If the doctor says you need to stay on this, then they're the final say, so there shouldn't be any controversy there.
Right. I would say from a disruption standpoint, we haven't heard anything because, again, it's prescriber. We engage the prescribers. So from a patient standpoint, we have not had any outreach or anything of that nature to say they've had any kind of disruption. So it's been going smooth from that standpoint. From a cost standpoint, we've been hitting pretty much our estimates as far as savings goes. And it's pretty hands-on with the technicians and the pharmacy folks that we have calling and engaging prescribers to make sure that basically everybody that has a medication in the mix that we feel is pretty ripe for those type of savings and ways to curb costs and get them on a lower cost alternative that's, again, a therapeutic equivalent to what they're taking. It's been successful to date. So.
Okay, anyone else? All right, if not, I'm looking for a motion. Ms. Spivey.
I move to approve implementing the Maxor Plus Care Improvement Program with the potential savings between approximately $48,000 to $81,600 per calendar plan year to the group health fund.
Mr. Anderson.
I'll second the motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries 4-1 with Christopher Dare voting no. All right, 9.8, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of City of Sparks Group Health Plan changes to implement Maxor Plus's dispense as written, or DAW, penalty to brand name drugs when a generic is available with a potential planned savings of approximately $53,612 per calendar year plan to the group health fund. Questions on this one?
Can you do the same thing, give us because now we're back to generic, and I'm thinking we're on the last, what we just talked about, so can you?
Yeah,
Just-
this primarily targets those medications that are a brand, but they have a generic available that's come onto the marketplace. So, and this is where the prescriber is mandating the brand, so they write the script accordingly. And the plan is picking up the cost between that full cost, and the member has their small, the copay that they have. So what this is, what we're trying to do here is engage those members, let them know if this is adopted. A benefit design change, that cost will now be passed on to you should we implement this. And that's about a 90 or 60-day window that we reach out to those members to have them move to the generic. That gives them time to talk to their prescriber and maybe get that final approval that the prescriber says, no, they have to have the brand. There's no exceptions. They've tried and failed the generic. And that member would not have an interruption in their therapy. But if there are prescribers that say they can move to the generic, it's not, they're fine with that, then that script would change to where they move from a brand drug to the generic, and the plan would save the money within this estimate.
So explain how that's different from the last item we just talked about. Because we were just talking about the doctor being the ultimate source. How is this different from what we just passed?
Okay, sorry, I thought we were, okay. So on the care improvement program that we just spoke about, that is the prescriber intervention program where our pharmacy technicians talk to the prescriber about the therapy that they're on. There could be a component where they're taking a brand to generic, but it's primarily designed to identify times where they prescribe a brand name drug or a certain drug that has a therapeutic equivalent that could be tried before they move on to that brand drug that's higher cost, and get them on that therapy, see if it remedies or, treats their diagnosis. And then that would save the plan money that they're not paying for the first form of therapy or medication that was prescribed. They would switch to an alternative that's a lower cost. So that's a little bit about the care improvement program. This is a benefit design change that would make the member can get the brand, but they're going to have to pay for the cost difference between the brand and generic. So they're not being denied the medication. They're actually just going to have to pay the difference between the cost, as they do right now when the prescriber writes a DAW2 and the patient's choosing the brand. They're paying the difference in cost between the generic and brand. So this would make the member pay the cost difference between the brand and generic if the prescriber writes a DAW1. They wouldn't be denied the medication. It would still be approved, but they're picking up the balance in the cost instead of City of Sparks picking that up.
Okay. And is this for all medications, not just specialty medications?
Specialty medications, most of the time don't have a generic. This would be for regular medications that have
So different from our other item that was really geared at the specialty medications. This is like what all the rest of us are on, probably. All the other basic medications.
Right.
Difference between brand or generic. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Dare.
So this sounds like to me another filter of putting on what somebody might want. And if they want it, they're going to have to pay the extra themselves.
Right.
And so, again, I'm concerned. Insurance is difficult to deal with many times, and we walk through, and that's not personal to anybody, it just is. And as we walk through, it's hard enough to get our doctor and us sometimes together talking. And now we're dealing with the idea that there are different side effects sometimes with the different things that they have to go back to their doctor, figure that out, and have the doctor agree that the generic isn't good. And so we're dealing again that we're not giving the best to our group, in my opinion. So I have a concern. It's not a question, just a concern. I think these things maybe are good in theory, but I think that they are very problematic to me.
Mr. Anderson.
I appreciate you bringing this to us, and obviously, it's nice to save money, but same thing, I think we all want to be cautious that we're not doing it to the detriment of our employees. In this one, I mean, I actually don't have a problem with it because I know over the years, I've had different doctors say, hey, I could prescribe this, a brand name, or a less expensive one that'll perform just as well. So I've always counted on my medical professional to make that determination. And then also I can remember times where they've said, hey, we need to go with a name brand on this one for whatever reason. So I mean, I really don't have an issue with that because we're, again, engaging the doctor, the patient, and the pharmacy all working together. So I'm actually okay with this. I do have a question, and it actually goes back to, in our public comment, why was this not implemented 5 months ago when the committee, and they all agreed to these changes, correct?
Yes, Ariana Wichapa for the record. So part of the cost-saving measures, we brought Maxor, we brought Hometown Health, we brought multiple options in front of the group healthcare committee. I believe it might have been in December. The exact date is, I can't remember it. But we pushed it forward to January. The committee voted on it in January. And there is a 60 to 90 day implementation window. In that time, we also had a couple other meetings to discuss these options again, plus other options that we were recommending. And those have been postponed because of questions with UMR and things of that nature.
Okay. But going back to the question of, these were all approved by the committee?
Correct, in January 11th meeting, January 11th, 2024 of this year.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very
2024
much.
is this year.
Hey, anyone else?
So Ariana, with our previous plan, haven't we always, if we do brand or generic, have we always paid the difference if we want to go with a brand drug versus a generic? Cost me as the patient, I pay a higher cost. I mean, isn't that the norm?
I don't believe so. Jason, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the city picks up the difference between generic and brand.
On the DAW1 prescription, so if the prescriber's mandating it, the city of Sparks does pick up the cost difference. If the prescriber doesn't differentiate and the member wants
Chooses to.
Yes, then the member will pick up that cost.
Okay, and I'm also looking to the DAW is excluded from your maximum out of pocket. So if I decided that I wanted the brand and I paid that difference, it's not counted towards my maximum out of pocket as well.
That is correct.
Okay, so which is another disincentive on why you would want to do that. But I was just curious how we've been in the past, because I thought, they try to do generic when we can. But as long as the doctor can still say that's what they want you on, then I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Yes, and to add to that, the plan does pretty well with generic in general. We don't have the report with us, but most providers do go to generic first, from what we've seen on utilization with Maxor.
Okay, any other questions? Not, I am looking for a motion on 9.8. Mr. Anderson.
I move to approve City of Sparks Group Health Plan changes to implement Maxor Plus dispense as written, penalty to brand name drugs when generic is available, with potential plan savings of approximately $53,612 per calendar plan year to the group health fund.
Ms. Bybee.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries 4-1 with Christopher Dare voting no. All right, moving on to public hearing. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is public hearing consideration and possible approval of resolution number 3444, authorizing the Financial Services Department to establish an interfund loan to the Community Development Block Grant Entitlement Fund and/or the Community Development Block Grant Fund and/or the Sparks Grants and Donations Fund from the general fund as needed during fiscal year 25.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and members of City Council. I am Tiffany Pugh, the accounting manager for the record. This item is an annual compliance request from the Financial Services Department, where we are asking for the opportunity to establish an interfund loan during fiscal year '25, should we need it, from the general fund to our 3 grant funds, and also have the opportunity to hold a public hearing in advance as required by the Nevada revised statutes for all interfund loans. The 3 funds that process transactions for grants is listed are the Community Development Block Grant Entitlement Fund, the Community Development Grant Fund, and the Sparks Grants and Donation Fund. These are generally operated on a reimbursement basis, and so we might experience periods where cash is negative while we're waiting for our reimbursement. The concern is having negative cash even for a day is a violation of the Nevada revised statutes, so having this interfund loan available would allow us to manage our cash flow and stay in compliance. There's no cost to the city for the interfund loan, but the term, should we need it, would be an interest-free loan from the general fund, not to exceed $1 million for periods of less than 30 days. And in conclusion, I'm asking for the opportunity to establish an interfund loan in advance for fiscal year '25, should we need it, and conduct a public hearing as required by the Nevada revised statutes. With that, I can answer any questions.
All right, questions from the council? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and I shouldn't do that. This is public hearing. Anyone in the public wishing to speak at this time? We'll call it back to the dais. Now I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott.
I move to approve resolution number 3444, I think 3444. I said too many fours. Authorizing the Financial Services Department to establish an interfund loan to the Community Development Block Grant Entitlement Fund, the Community Development Block Grant Fund, and/or the Sparks Grant and Donations Fund from the general fund as needed during fiscal year '25.
Mr. Dare.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have no planning and zoning public hearings. Comments from the public? We had one.
Bill.
Bill,
Does Bill have anything to say?
you have a public comment?
Oh, wait.
Don't make her run. She's just getting over a broken ankle.
Sorry, failed you.
It's all right. I don't know why. I got a brain fart on those things.
That's what my question is. I'd like to talk to Chris.
Or Nick, you mean?
No, I'm gonna leave the lawyer alone.
Okay.
Chief Manager.
Thank you.
All right. That's it? All right, we'll bring it back to the dais. No more public comments. Announcements from the mayor, city council, city manager. Anything, Mr. City Manager?
No further comments, Mayor.
Anything from the council?
Yes.
Mr. Dare.
Anybody interested, on July 1st, that's a Monday at 11 a.m., we will be having a ribbon cutting for our Ron Smith Education Path. So our late mayor is very excited to do that. And the first piece will be the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and our Constitution. It'll be there forever for people to see. So it's pretty exciting. That's July 1st, 11 a.m. on a Monday. Thank you.
Ms. Spivey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to welcome our new city manager, Dion. Welcome him aboard. So excited to have you here and ready to start this next chapter for the city. And at the same time, I can't thank Chief Manager any more than I know we've given him some accolades, but really personally want to let you know what an exceptional job you did stepping in. I just thought you knew police stuff, and you just stepped right up to the plate and have been so impressive and brought a calm leadership with a lot of confidence, and I think really helped me, and I think helped the city and staff as we transition to moving into our new city manager, and can't thank you enough, and want you to really enjoy some time off next month with your family who hasn't seen you a lot, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Anyone else? This is for the council. You got to get elected, Bill, in order to speak in this time. All right, with that, we are to adjournment.